Find it! Find it! It's here somewhere!
I'm looking. Give me a break.
It's too dark. Can't see a thing.
Yes! That's a thing called mouse! Keep looking.
Wait, I think. Aha! I found it!
Finally! Let's get out of here, quickly!
What the?
What's going on?
Rarity! I came as soon as I heard. What happened?
Oh, Twilight! It's awful, horrible, dreadful, perhaps even the worst possible thing!
Uh-huh. And that would be...
Why, Twilight? Do I detect skepticism? Well, I shall have you know that last night I became a victim. A tragic, tragic victim. Woe is me! I shall never recover from this injury that's been brought upon me.
English, Rarity.
I was in the zone, Twilight. But if I must, last night I was stolen from.
Stolen from? What was stolen?
They were stolen, Twilight! Both of them!
Who?
My 2 jewels! True Blue and Opal!
Ahem. Twilight, what Rarity is trying to say is that thieves broke into the Carousel Boutique last night and stole both the True Blue, a large sapphire that she had recently acquired when gem hunting, and Opal, which is her cat.
How could they? How could they? Oh, my poor, poor darling, all alone out there with those ruffians!
I'm gonna go ahead and hope that she was talking about her cat there. What happened? Do you have any idea who did this?
Well, no. I'm afraid we haven't the slightest idea.
Ponyville doesn't really have much of a police force, you see, so we are a little under-equipped to handle something like this. This doesn't happen very often, you know. An investigative team from Canterlot has agreed to look into it, but I'm afraid they won't be here for a few days.
A few days? But the thieves might be long gone by then, and... Wait, is this the same investigative team as last time?
Exactly what happened last time? I can't seem to recall.
The one brought in to investigate the baby that went missing and which ended up being found unharmed in the closet?
Ah, yes, I do recall that, but I'm not sure where you're going with.
The one that somehow managed to implicate Pinkie Pie in a fictional Dragon X smuggling ring?
Well, yes. Yes, that's the one. Think positive, Twilight. They may, perform better this time. Yes, that's the ticket. Well, there's not much for it either way, Twilight. After all, no pony in our town has any experience with this sort of thing. We'll just have to wait it out. Oh, I have so much to do at the moment. I simply can't stay around any longer. We'll get to the bottom of this as soon as that investigative team arrives, Rarity. You have my word.
I'm afraid she's right, you know. We shall simply have to wait it out.
If that investigative team gets their hooves on this case, who knows what ridiculous things they might come up with this time. There has... Rarity, I'm on the case.
I beg your pardon, Twilight?
Some pony needs to get to the bottom of this, right? Well, I volunteer. I've had experience investigating crime before, after all.
Twilight, I'm really not sure if that's such a grand idea.
Well, I mean, sure. That particular investigation pretty much involved completely airtight evidence that directly identified the culprits in one go. And it also included an eyewitness who saw almost everything who could lead me exactly to the clues. But it's not like the team from Canterlot will be much better, right?
Forgive me, Twilight, if your words do not inspire a great deal of confidence.
It'll be fine. Don't you worry, Rarity. I'll have this case wrapped up in a jiffy. Mystery novels came through for me then, so surely they'll come through for us again. I wonder where Pinkie Pie's been today. If she... Or, now if you want to move, Twilight, you gotta just click where you want to go, or you can also just press and hold too. She might even say something like, now if you want to interact with something, well then you just click on it too, silly Billy. But sadly, she isn't here right now. A strange star-shaped object? I can't say I know what this is, but it looks out of place, which makes it a clue in my book. Well, it doesn't take a sharp eye to see that these are tire marks, and it doesn't take a sharp wit to figure out that whoever was here probably was the cause of this broken window, too. Is there anything else here? Is this hair? These tire tracks and this hair seem like they go together. What was it? Oh, right! If I want to combine them, I just click on Evidence in the main screen. Click on the tracks, then combine with. Click on the hair, and then click Combine. As Pinky might say, easy peasy! If we assume that this hair is from some animal, then it'd naturally follow that the rider probably swerved here to avoid hitting it, explaining why that pony went towards the window. Except, what animal was it? A pony, perhaps? Rarity, I think we should start with what happened last night.
Of course, darling. What would you like to know?
Could you describe exactly what happened and what you saw?
Well, I'm afraid there isn't much to tell. I was sleeping in my bedroom when suddenly I heard a shrill crash from downstairs. I went downstairs to investigate, and what did I find but my house overturned and ransacked, my prized jewel gone, and my beloved opal essence missing as well. Oh, Opal! Mama's coming soon!
Perhaps I should ask more specifically about what was stolen. And that was everything there is to speak of? You saw nothing else at all?
No, nothing, I'm afraid. So sorry, Twilight.
That sounded awfully suspicious. Rarity, are you hiding something? I should come back when I've got some evidence proving that Rarity knows more than she's letting on. Presenting that to her should get her to talk to me. Could you describe everything that was stolen last night?
Of course. First there was True Blue, a regular hunk of a sapphire that shone in the light like a noonday sky. Oh, whatever shall I do without the light of that jewel in my workshop? Second, there was Opal, my darling, darling Opal. She's been missing since last night too. Now with the jewel I can understand, but what could the thieves possibly want with Opal? It greatly troubles me to think of what might have happened to her. You must find them both, Twilight. Promise me. You must. You must!
I'll do my best, Rarity. I promise. Not just a giant sapphire, but her cat too? What an equestria could that be about? All right, let's think about this logically here. Hair this color and this length is pretty rare, as far as equestria goes. There really aren't any ponies that it could have come from. In fact, the only creature that I can think of that it could have come from is opalescence. And that would mean that whoever was here swerved and crashed into the window because opalescence was in his or her path. And that would all come together to mean that this broken window likely was an accident. It feels like there's more to this than just that. But it's a start at least. A piece of cloth, red on one side, gold on the other? I think I know what this is from. Hey, Apple Bloom! How's it going with the Cutie Mark Crusaders? Done any, epic quests or crusading lately?
Oh, well, no, actually, not really. See, we're kinda on break.
On break? Since when do the Cutie Mark Crusaders take breaks?
Since, well, recently. I mean, every pony's gotta take a break once in a while, right?
How recently?
Pretty recent?
Why is she avoiding my questions? Although, now that I think about it, there's one Crusader I haven't heard anything about today. Say, Apple Bloom. Do you know where Scootaloo's been?
Nowhere. I mean, somewhere. I mean, not here. I mean, I don't know.
So, did you hear about what happened to Rarity last night?
Did I? That was an awful thing to happen to her.
Well, don't worry. I'm on the case. And I promise you that I'll find the one who broke that window and stole from her.
Oh, well, good luck with that. Hope you have real good luck there.
That was an odd response. Apple Bloom, you wouldn't happen to know anything about what happened, would you?
Huh? Course not. Why would you think I'm not telling you something, huh?
Because you just told me that you're not.
Oh, I remember this little problem.
You do?
Of course! Apple Bloom came by this morning to have this little accident fixed up. She seemed to have ripped her cape during one of her usual excursions. I asked her why she didn't just get Sweetie Belle to fix it up, but she said that Sweetie Belle was very busy today and couldn't spare any time to do so. I really don't know what those fillies are up to, but on the other hoof, perhaps it's better I don't know. I swear, sometimes I don't understand myself. Sweetie Belle absolutely ruins my gold silk, and now here I am, fixing the capes they made with it. I'm an odd sort. Do you think I'm odd, Twilight?
Oh, Rarity. I think you just have a big heart.
Don't remind me, Twilight. Sometimes it can be a bit tiresome.
So this belonged to Apple Bloom, and she had it fixed this morning. Okay, Apple Bloom. Time to find out what you're hiding. Apple Bloom, I need to ask you about where you were around the time of the crime.
Huh? How come? I'm not a suspect, am I?
No, I just need to know. Procedure and all. That makes sense, right?
Sure, I guess. I wasn't really doing a whole lot yesterday, to be perfectly honest. Most of my day was spent with Applejack helping her on the farm. We finished everything up at around 6:30 or 7. I don't remember exactly when it was. I had homework to complete for school after that, so I was pretty much just doing that for the rest of the day. I certainly never went anywhere near Carousel Boutique. No, sorry.
Apple Bloom, I'm afraid to say that I don't think you're being honest with me here.
Huh? Of course I am, Twi. How could you say something like that?
Oh no, I'm not being guilt-tripped this time. I found a scrap of your cape near the bridge to the Carousel Boutique. I know you were there, Apple Bloom.
Oh, well, that doesn't mean that was left there last night, does it? Why, that was left there a long time ago, Twi.
Apple Bloom, are you seriously pulling this one?
Sure, a scrap of my cape was found near there, but come on, that could have been left there at any time.
No, Apple Bloom, I'm afraid that one's not going to fly. I talked to Rarity earlier, and she told me that you had this fixed this morning.
Yeah, but...
Your prized Cutie Mark Crusader's cape. Apple Bloom, come on. You can't tell me that you wouldn't get that fixed as soon as possible.
But it... I mean... All right, you win, Twi. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But please, I need you to tell me what you know. I can't help if I don't know as much as possible. All right, Apple Bloom. Please tell me everything you know about what happened last night.
I can't.
And why not?
'Cause I can't.
Apple Bloom, I think I know why you're not talking. You were trying to protect Scootaloo, aren't you? I haven't heard from her all day, and Rarity said some things about you three that seemed awfully suspicious.
Yeah, you got it, Twi.
Apple Bloom, listen to me. I know your heart is in the right place, but this isn't the right way to protect Scootaloo. There's an investigative team coming in from Canterlot to handle this case. It's very, very important that I have this case closed before they get here.
You don't mean that investigation team, do ya?
I'm afraid I do.
Okay, I get it, Twi. No more hiding, promise. I wasn't being truthful because, well, I was awful worried about Scootaloo. See, last night, we were rehearsing a comedy routine that we had planned to put on for Rarity's birthday, which is coming up pretty soon. We've been doing...
Oh, right! Comedy, of course! Great!
Well, yeah, this'll earn all cutie marks for sure! But you can't tell any pony about this, Twi! This is super duper top secret! It won't work if it's not a surprise!
Sure. You can trust me. Cross my heart and hope to fly. Stick a cupcake in my eye.
Daddy, yes?
Yes.
Well, alright then. Anyway, we were practicing in the town square last night like always, and things are going pretty well. We took a break during which time me and Sweetie Belle hung out by the bridge. But I don't know where Scootaloo was at that time, or what she was up to. A short while after that, we heard a sudden loud crash coming from Carousel Boutique. We didn't know what in tarnation was happening now, so we just watched for a bit to see what was going on. And then a little while after that, some pony ran across the bridge real fast. We didn't get a good look at it, but I'm pretty sure it was Scootaloo, Twi.
What? Oh, no, that can't be right.
Afraid it is, Twi. I didn't know what was going on, but since it seemed like Scootaloo was in trouble, we all figured, well, better not say anything about it. I'm awful sorry I lied to you, Twi.
It's fine, really. You did the right thing in telling me all this. This has been a big help.
Scootaloo's not a thief, Twi. You gotta believe me. You gotta help her. Promise!
I promise on my honor as an investigator that I will clear Scootaloo's name and get to the bottom of this.
Is that something that's valuable?
Let's just say that, yes, I promise. Rarity, I hate to say it, but I don't think you're telling me the whole truth here.
Why, darling, whatever do you mean? I dare say I resent your accusation, my dear.
All right then, let's look at this a different way. How quickly did you come downstairs after you thought something was wrong?
Immediately, of course, but I don't see what relevance that has to anything.
I don't have all the answers here, but neither does Rarity. Maybe I can get her to talk, if I make it seem like I know more than I really do. Rarity, I spoke to Apple Bloom earlier and learned that she witnessed Scootaloo crashing through your window last night. I also learned that Scootaloo stayed for roughly a minute before leaving the boutique. Now, if you came downstairs immediately after hearing the crash, don't you think you might have seen something?
I mean, that is... I suppose you do have a point.
It worked.
You are correct, Twilight. I did see Scootaloo last night. I did not know what to make of it, and meant to protect her. I do apologize for not being forthright about it.
I understand, Rarity. But if that investigation team from Canterlot comes here and finds any of that out, what do you think their conclusion is going to be?
You do have a point, I must say.
Alright, time to get to the bottom of this. Alright, Rarity. Please tell me everything you know about what you saw last night. I can't help if I don't have all the details.
Of course, Twilight. I shall do my best. I finished up all of my work for yesterday evening earlier than I had expected, so naturally I wanted to get my beauty sleep. I had been somewhat deprived as far as sleep goes, given that a certain client of mine had made several last-minute orders. I had finally fallen into a blissful, restful sleep when, all of a sudden, I awoke to the sound of a loud crash coming from the first floor. Well, I was just scared out of my wits at that moment, so I made great haste downstairs to see what in Celestia's name was going on. What I found there was awful, terrible, horrible. The first floor of my boutique, ransacked, ruined, torn apart. Oh, what is a man to do? Worse still, True Blue, my prized jewel, was gone, snatched from my very home. And perhaps, worst of all, when I came to the scene, the very first thing I saw was the image of an orange and purple pony darting out my door. I cannot explain what I saw any other way than to say that Scootaloo broke the window to my boutique, tore my boutique apart in search for True Blue, and then made off with it.
Rarity, what you said contradicts this bit of... Oh, Rarity, I know that this is going to sound entirely irrelevant, but I think I have a lead on what might have happened to Opalescence. At least, if not True Blue.
Oh, do tell, darling! Although I do admit that I must agree, in that I can't see how this is relevant to what we're discussing here.
I found some white hair right near the tracks outside the window, and judging from their length and color, I don't think there's anyone else they could have come from other than Opalescence. As a result, I think we can reasonably conclude that if those tire marks are from Scootaloo, then it's entirely likely that she crashed through your window completely by accident, not purposefully. She was probably trying to avoid crashing into Opal, which may well have spooked Opal into running away.
Really? But then, that makes things all the more peculiar, because it is still the fact that she must have stolen True Blue, no?
Let me ask a very important question before answering that. Do you, by any chance, keep your door locked when you go to sleep at night?
Why, yes, of course I do. But I don't see what that has to do with anything.
One follow-up question then. Do you also bring an opal from outside when you go to bed?
Of course! The poor dear, I couldn't leave her to fend for herself at night.
Then I think we've established something even more important than the accidental break-in.
Twilight, I must ask that you be more direct, as I am not following one word you're saying.
Alright, let's think about the facts of the case thus far. We know that you heard a crash and came downstairs to see Scootaloo quickly leaving your boutique. We can reasonably conclude that she probably was responsible for the broken window. However, we also know that the broken window was likely an accident, and that she had veered off course with her scooter because she was avoiding Opal, who was immediately in front of her path. You just told me, though, that you bring in Opal and lock your door at night. So that raises perhaps the most interesting question of all here. Namely, what was Opal doing outside in the first place?
But she would have gotten out when Scootaloo opened the door, would she not?
That's not possible. Think about it. When was it that she veered to avoid Opal?
Right before she crashed through the window.
Ah! I trust you're beginning to see my point. If indeed your door had been locked and had remained that been no way Opal would have been outside in the first place.
But that would mean that some pony else was in my boutique as well?
Exactly. I think we can reasonably conclude at this point that there at least is the possibility that someone else had entered your boutique before Scootaloo, and that they're the ones who opened the door so that Opal could get out. The question now, though, is who that would be, and that's just what I'm going to find out. Well, this case has certainly turned out to be more interesting than I thought it would be. First, Scootaloo, of all ponies, comes under suspicion. And now we've opened the possibility that some pony else was also at the scene of the crime. Just who was it that came to the boutique before Scootaloo did? I have the feeling that this case is going to get even more interesting from here on out. And I won't rest until I've seen it through to the end.